Madam President, I have been in meetings all morning trying to work through the hurricane relief that is certainly important to my home state of Texas, meeting with the mayors of Houston and Galveston as they go to their hearings for oversight for FEMA and disaster relief. And I know that we are learning much about what can be done, and I think we're doing so much better than in any previous hurricane. But I'm also, Madam President, absorbed in the financial crisis that is certainly present in our country today and is affecting so many people, so many jobs, so many families, so many lives. And all of us are going to be making some very tough decisions this week. And I wanted to just talk about the parameters that I'm going to put around any package that is put before us for passage that would help us get through this time in our economy, in the history of our country, which we are making as we speak. And here is what I'm looking for. I am looking for a package that first and foremost protects the American family who is doing the best they can and doing the right thing. The family that has put their money in a money market fund as well as bank deposits to protect them, which is what we are hearing will be done without any further action. And we need to do that. We need to protect those money market funds so that no one will lose their life savings because they're doing what is right for their families to save for their retirement or for their futures or for their emergency needs. For people to be able to keep their homes. If they're keeping their mortgages current or they're working with their bank to try to extend or lower interest rates and they have an agreement in order to keep that mortgage going, we want to make sure that they're able to do that. That is what we're looking for in a package that we would pass. It is the most important thing that every American is looking for Congress to do. We want to work together in a bipartisan way, the Congress, the administration, the Federal Reserve, all together to address this financial issue in a way that protects every family and every person who is doing what they can do that is right for their futures and their families. The second major part of any package has to be protection of the taxpayers. The taxpayers are going to basically underwrite what we decide is the right thing to do. So if we're going to underwrite, we want the taxpayers to also have an upside. We want the taxpayers to be protected. We want the taxpayers to have the regulatory underpinnings that would assure they are protected. And we want them to have the upside. There is an upside in the AIG bailout that the Federal Reserve has put in place, and that is good because I believe there is a great chance that that will turn out to be a profit for the taxpayers if that is done correctly. And I think that should be the model for the package that is coming forth this week on which we will decide. That there will be a position for the taxpayer if there is an upside. So that when the packages are put together and the bad loans or the non-performing loans are taken off the books, that there's an upside to that if those loans perform. Or if the company succeeds after the bad loans are out. And going down the road, I do think that Senator Gregg really is saying it best, and I think he will probably be able to come out and talk about his view, which is that we put everything that comes back in the stabilization that we would provide to debt reduction. That instead of taking the debt up, possibly $1 trillion, that we would pay down the debt so that there would be relatively no cost to the taxpayer, and that we would begin the very long process of not only putting our financial houses in order, but that we would also start putting our monetary system and our debt repayment back in order. Before 9/11, this country had wiped out the deficit. Congress had wiped out the deficit. We had wiped out the deficit and we're paying down debt. That is where all of us want to be again. That we would wipe out deficits by careful, prudent spending, and that we would start paying down that debt so that the interest payments don't overwhelm us. Those are the basic parameters that I believe Congress should put in the mix as we are being asked to vote for a very, very important stabilization of the financial institutions and the families of this country. Congress can put its stamp on this package in our fiduciary responsibility, and we can do this right and assure that we do it right. That is our job. It is our responsibility to carefully look at the package that would be put forward, to have the input from Congress and from the key people in Congress who are working with the Secretary and the Chairman of the Federal Reserve to do what is right for our country. Politics should be thrown out the window right now. We should be talking about what is our role, our fiduciary responsibility as elected officials by the taxpayers, and we should be doing it on a bipartisan basis. We should be inclusive, not exclusive, and I think we're going to do it, Madam President. I think we have an opportunity here to give the taxpayers and the American people the confidence that we will do this in their best interest and do it right. That is my hope, and that I do have the confidence that we can do it.